Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the woo age of isekai MC characters in terms of the power budget, right? You thought it stopped at Lene? You thought it stopped at Mornai being the next closest to being a generalist to SK? Oh no, okay? No. You're in for a wild ride, okay? Now, what I want to talk about today is Aemeath. Yes, the red-haired girl that I honestly thought would be saved until the anniversary. Now, Step Leaks' older leaked roadmap already had her as 3.1 this entire time, also had Lene and Mornai in there as well. However, this basically now confirms that roadmap has an insane amount of credibility because Aemeath is releasing next patch. She's not only a negative status fusion burst DPS, but at the same time a tune break DPS that has both tune rupture and tune shifting, just like Lene, right? So the character who we've known was going to come out because it's already been leaked, the 3.1 TOA and Wiwa with fusion burst buffs, it has been her this entire fucking time, which is insane to me, right? So Aemeath is a sword fusion character, right? That's kind of obvious. Sword fusion character, main damage dealer, resonance lib damage, which, would you know it, obviously perfectly synergizes with all of Lene's buffs, fusion burst, tune rupture response, and tune strain response. Now this is subject to change, however the odds of this changing is just incredibly fucking low with just how many things are aligning, right? So yeah, that's the leak we got on Aemeath. You may be asking, Gabby, this is kind of a small leak, right? Why'd you make a video on this? This could be a sign of something very bad going into the future, because her being not only a fusion burst DPS, but also a tune break DPS, implies that it's a real possibility that we will have 3 characters in a row all part of the best in slot team. Now, Wuwa, I've already made a video before complaining about the fact that lately in 2.x, they've been releasing back-to-back best in slots, usually sub DPS and main DPS on every single patch, right? Like, they're doing this incredibly consistently, and I said, you know, if anyone's watching this, I hope you guys can slow it down. But this may be a new fucking peak, because you have Lene first half of 3.0, then Mornai second half of 3.0, and then Aemeath in 3.1. 3 characters in a row who are all in each other's best in slot team. Holy shit, right? This is insane, right? Now, I will say, maybe she could have great alternatives, right? I don't want to be like a blind Doom poster like a lot of people accuse me of being, because since she's fusion, she should be able to use both Chisa, and as well, maybe if you run something weird like Aemeath plus Mornai plus Lupa, then you could also take advantage of Lupa's mono fusion buffs, and it could be a solid alternative, right? However, I am like 90% confident her best in slot team will be both of the current characters releasing on the patch, which is insane. Now you may say, isn't this too early for her? I thought the exact same way. However, my guess is they are going to do the exact same thing that they did with Jinshi. And if you guys remember, Jinshi was also like the Sentinel Resonator in Huanglong, right? However, we got her incredibly early as the beginning of 1.1. So they're basically doing the same thing here, I guess, giving us like this main, you know, protagonist, the character with the most lore and story behind her, actually earlier than we ever expected. So she is not the Annie unit, which is pretty crazy. She's coming next patch, right? So I wish you luck on all your polls if you're someone who really wants Aemeath and also wants the characters currently going on, especially since they're her best in slots. It's not going to be easy. Hope you all have a great day. Hope you all have a great night, and peace out.